and they might be your nearest and dearest. So have an appreciation of those people and still keep those relationships great, but make sure you do create new relationships with people that really want you to succeed, people that are already operating at that level, and say, hey, you know what, come on, you can make an extra £5,000 a month, let's do it. And you'll be like, I can't, I've never made 5,000. Like, come on, let's do it. And they'll want to see you succeed. They'll want you to experience what they're experiencing. People ask me, why do you do this? I'm like, can't you see? And they go, no. And I know they can't see because they haven't been there. They haven't been to the place where they've made enough money trading, they do what they want. So they don't understand why I would spend any time teaching anybody to trade. They don't understand the enjoyment I might get out of watching somebody who's never made any money from this suddenly making some money for it. And when somebody called up my office and says, like when you called the other week and said, I've done 16% every single month. What, in the most volatile market conditions? That's incredible, right? That's inspiring, right? And that gives me a lot of pleasure. That gives my team a lot of pleasure. Our coaches go, well, I helped him out. You know, they feel great about it. You know, and you can't buy that. And that's what people don't understand because they've never been there. And unless you've been there at a level with somebody, how can you understand that? Right? So, you know, that's why we do it. And we want to, you know, there are a lot of people who do want you to succeed as opposed to those who don't. You just got to go find them out. And they're the people that are constantly doing it and they just want to see you get over the hurdle. Very much like a gym instructor who wants to see you improve your physique. Somebody who's trading and make a success of it wants to see you join the party too. So make sure you do make that effort to go surround yourself with people. It's the fastest way you'll do it. Beyond reading any book, attending any seminar or anything. Get yourself around people that are consistently doing it. Then when we're in the game and we're learning to trade, what is the psychology of trading? I want to jump to this diagram here. The conscious is the rational thinking part of our brain. If we could just flick to the diagram there, we've got the rational and analytical thinking on the left-hand side. That's the left cog. And we've got the blue cog there, which is the subconscious. The reason I kind of divide these two, the conscious mind is responsible for logical decision-making, all talk really, and little action. The subconscious is really what we do. In other words, we know that people say there's a big difference between what I say I'm going to do and what I actually do. And the subconscious is responsible for actions. It monitors good and bad stimuli in real time, remember, and it basically associates whether something's good or bad immediately in real time. So let's take a big let's take a dive into why that and how that works.
Greg, something very interesting about the point that you're making there. One of the things I did as soon as I decided that I'm going to become a trader, it was actually before I did Traders University, a few days before the course was coming up, I went out and got business cards that said that I was a trader, obviously my name and my Skype details and all that, and which forced me to hand them out to people because obviously people ask for your business card and then the next thing is they ask you what you're doing. Now this, mind you, this is before I've even trained to be a trader.
That's awesome.
So my whole thinking is just be it. You know, be it first, and then then you're forced to declare that you are one.
That's
and then
awesome.
if you've got some integrity, you've got to back it up, don't you?
This is the real classic adage of fake it till you make it, right? Literally, fake it till you make it. Yeah. Because you know what? Think about it. What will actually motivate you is pain, much more than pleasure. Sure, she makes a good income stream from what she's doing, right? Pretty obvious. However, she'll make a lot more as she becomes a trader, right? And brings she's got to. She's bringing a second income stream in. But here's the cool part. She will do more to avoid the pain of embarrassment where people go, trader, what do you know? And then she goes, I didn't go on the course and I haven't bothered trading and I'm a fraud. Right?
Exactly it.
Yeah. You see, that's how you use the psychology. That's how you use your subconscious correctly. You go, you know what? My mind is going to be like, I'm going to die if somebody exposes me for saying something I am when I'm really not, right? So you can be like, geez, I want to really get myself hooked up and make this thing happen. And what a great way to do it. In other words, you want to commit yourself to this, do something that's going to tip you over the edge so you can't come back. Does everyone follow me on this? See, most of us stand there on the edge of the cliff. Yeah, but you know what? We've got all the hooks on. It doesn't matter. We can't fall. You know what they say? They say burn the boats and take the island, right? Like literally make it so you can't go back. You know, literally just make it so you 110% commit yourself. And the best way to do it is use social proof against you, which is like go around and say, I am this, I am this, I am this. Then you have to take action like, Jesus, I better learn this. What a great way to do it. That's awesome. It really is. Nice job. Awesome. So this is great. So now she's not only made sure that it's central to her identity, what else has she done? she's used one of the strongest influencing skills of all. She's now got to conform to crowd control and social proof. So now now she's made sure that she's using all the force of all the people she meets who are going to keep checking in on, make sure she's hitting the target. So what an amazing way to commit yourself. Awesome, great choice. Now, those of you watching on video, what could you do to make sure that you had to make this happen? It would be so embarrassing if you didn't make this happen. Does that make sense? And what position could you put yourself in? I always say to, I always have a lot of friends in the city who are growing their businesses. And one of my friends, he grew his business from a recruitment firm and grew it to from like a small shop, 6 people, to 6 people in a shop. Within 5 years, the company's turning over £90 million a year. I said to him, that's incredible growth. How did you do it? Because I always want to find out people's little success strategies. And he said to me, well, I never have any cash. I make sure as soon as I make loads of money, I go spend it. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, I always go spend it. He goes, no, I'm not stupid. He goes, I'll put it into investments and things like that, but I always want to clear the cash. He goes, because when I have the cash in the bank, I just feel fat, dumb, and happy. He said, but if I can take the money out and go spend the money, I go buy myself a new Porsche, I go buy myself, some investment properties, then I always feel hungry for the next day. I always feel I can go out and then make some more. He just keeps stepping up the gear all the time. Right? So in other words, he's committing himself by he'll take on a huge financial commitment, go and buy himself a £5 million apartment, and he knows he's now got to find himself £18,000 a month just to pay rent. That commits himself to a standard, doesn't he? His company's got to produce a certain cash flow to allow him to do that. I really love that example, Vicky. It's amazing. Really good one. Okay, let's press on. So now we've decided there's tools we can use to make ourselves, to really commit ourselves to do that. And those of you watching via video, find the tool you can use. Make it one which would completely embarrass you if you didn't really step up and take a hold of. So we started to look at the conscious, the difference between the conscious and the subconscious. We've said the conscious part of our mind is analytical and rational. The subconscious does all the associative conditioning. Is this good for me or bad for me, right? Let's look at that in terms of why so many people lose when they first start trading. Again, most people get pulled into trades out of excitement and social proof. So let's have a look at how these two things work together. So as we see a stock chart start off here, and it's relatively boring, we're going to say that the bars here are very small in range, and therefore it's very unexciting, pretty boring. So no one really does, or your average trader doesn't do too much at this point in time. So he's basically not doing anything, not even interested. But then the stock might rocket up and become quite exciting, and as it does so, the trader might then become quite interested in placing the trade. Then it becomes even more exciting. Now it's exciting and there's some social proof. So they might not enter the trade initially because they might decide, well, it might just be a spike and it might come back. But boy, when there's some excitement and some social proof simultaneously, can't help but get in. This kind of trader would be probably the person who trades at £50 a point. And immediately he's in, £50 a point. And of course, he's starting to make profit as it continues to move up. 20 points in 2 hours, yes. And of course the subconscious is getting hardwired at that moment that entering a trade like that was a good thing to do. He's made potentially £1,000 in profit and feels pretty good. So all he's done is just like Pavlov did with the dogs when he fed dogs and rang a bell to condition those dogs that when hearing a bell, this would condition them to food and to start salivating. Very much the trader's done exactly the same thing on the extended bars there. They've got really excited, conditioned that immediately £1,000 potentially been made. And so that trader's subconscious now will inadvertently seek out positions which look exciting. Going back to the chart now, we can certainly see that when the stock does break down, the profit reduces to £50. The loss is now 1,200. The loss is now 2,400. The trader panics, freaks out, and of course closes the position for a loss and asks themselves, why do I do this? Are they all watching me? Now the real thing to be aware of here is this happens thousands of times every single day in every trading environment, in every trading world. Why?